Ringing Roger is one of the less frequented scrambles around Edale in the Peak District. No justification for being less frequented because it's a great day out, though not really a scramble, but as we'll see, something different. Whether you've parked or arrived by train, head north through Edale village past the Rambler Inn. Keep going north past Edale's other pub, the Old Nag's Head. Before you get to the gates of the wonderfully named venue, The Gathering, take the footpath signposted to the right, cross the bridge over Grindsbrook and make your way up into open country. On the left is a paved path above Grindsbrook, but the route to Ringing Roger runs ahead to the corner of that wood. You've a choice here. There's a steep, direct route that runs along the wood's edge and then up that scar in the hillside, or a longer paved zigzag that rises more gently and then over the brow. Those two routes meet up at this corner and from here proceed along this semi-paved track. Just a touch further on, you get your first sight of Ringing Roger. According to one explanation, so called from roche, French for rock, so that could become roche, and the ringing sound that the wind makes as it whistles around those rocks. Closer up, Ringing Roger looks less like a scramble than a tumble of boulders tipped out of some giant's litter bin, but don't be put off and take the right hand fork up to the start. Walk above the cairn on the main track and you'll see a faint path on your right that leads around to the foot of the first wall. You can either go straight there or have a play on the rocks beneath. Like much of Ringing Roger, they're so wrinkly that they look like fossilised Shar-Peis. Now we're ready to start after a 45-minute walk from Edale. The wall has several lines. One is at this right-hand corner, a regular grade 1 scramble. If you want to go up the central crack, I put my left foot there, smeared my right there, got some mediocre handholds up here so I could put my left foot here and then either hugging that boulder or pulling up or hooking a foot round, you can go further up. I'd rate that as a grade 2. Third route, hands around the back so you can get your feet then into these erosion cavities here and then into this erosion cavity. I then reached up and did a very ungainly lay across and bum shuffle to get myself further up. There definitely must be a better way. Final route is another regular grade 1 scramble round the left hand side. It takes not much more than a minute to climb the wall, but luckily there's an easy path back down so you can undertake multiple laps, trying all of the different routes and the many variations within each route. Above the wall scramble, much of the rest of Ringing Roger is like this, an episodic set of wrinkly boulders. It's at this point that I realise I'm not on a scramble because there are no long pitches. I'm in an outdoor bouldering adventure playground. Being an adventure playground, it makes sense to drop your pack and go explore, hunting around for different boulders and different lines up those boulders that match and or challenge your capabilities. That hunting should include looking on the right side where you'll find longer and more difficult lines such as the higher grade ones on this outcrop. It's also got a grade 2 overhung route in the middle. I largely wimped out climbing the small face above the dog kennel. But every boulder and outcrop has got multiple lines, each one with many variations. There's so much to try out here. Smearing, straddling, stepping through, traversing, a dozen other techniques that take your fancy. Of course, all this is weather dependent. You're often smearing your foot to get up a surface or trying to grab onto a poor hold with your hands, and that's fine if the gritstone is dry, not so good if there's wind and rain. Another advantage compared to indoor bouldering is the brilliant views into Hope Valley and up onto Kinder Plateau. Plus, every block is like a work of art, so it feels like a real privilege to be engaging with this rock. Finally, here's a secret friend for you to discover higher up on Ringing Roger. Once you're done, it's about half an hour to walk to the edge and then over the plateau if you want to scramble the top of Blackton Brook. You could down climb Golden Clough, but there's not much gradient to it. The clough further round is somewhat steeper. Alternatively, you could go all the way round to Grindsbrook or even over to Crowden Clough. But I've enjoyed my morning on Ringing Roger and I'm just going to make my way back down to Edale. Takes about 30 minutes. Ringing Roger is not a scramble. It is a rock playground in a beautiful setting with an infinite variety of lines where you can spend a happy morning or afternoon practicing lots of different bouldering techniques and sequences, choosing routes as you please that are below or at or pushing your limits. I've loved it and will score it an 8 out of 10. If you'd like to have a play here, then there's a map link and other details in the YouTube text description underneath this video.